the team's won 7 in a row, guys. 3 walk-offs. I mean, they still only have a 6-game lead because the Braves are starting to win again. But 6-game lead is one of the biggest in the majors right now in the division. But the question here is Rafael Soriano. He's blown 3 saves since the All-Star break. Neil, how big of a concern is Soriano's recent play as you look toward the stretch with this team?
It's not a concern. I mean, we're talking about a guy that's one of the best closers in baseball. His last couple starts notwithstanding.
Right.
I mean, he's lost his fastball. They're hitting about 420 on his fastball in August versus they were under 200 leading up to that. So something went wrong with his fastball along the way. But when you're in the closer role, I mean, it becomes a much more kind of focused
Spotlight,
area. I mean,
right.
it's so much easier when you have just a couple pitches that the whole game turns on, as opposed to the 8 innings before, when there's just a lot more that can happen. You can come back. So I think I'm sure that the pitching staff is going to work with him, kind of find out what went wrong with the fastball. I don't think it's a velocity issue. I think it's a placement issue. But I wouldn't be concerned with it.
Thank you, Steve McCatty.
Brandon, Matt Williams has said he could potentially reshuffle the bullpen so that Soriano could pitch in less pressure-packed situations. I mean, is that a vote of confidence or not?
I think it's just a way to answer the question without.
I mean, he reiterated his support as their closer, so that should be said and stated. But to sort of reshuffle things is just sort of an interesting.
I mean, anything's possible, but that probably wouldn't be the best because you want to. This is the time that you want to put confidence around him, where there's not going to be huge consequences if he, continues to mess up. Or I mean, they went on walk-offs all the time, so why not use that time to say, okay, we can make up for your mistakes. But yeah, I don't see him making a drastic change like that because it happens, and I think it's magnifying with closers because you have such a small sample size of stats or pitches to go off of. So if he has one blown save, it's like, whoa, what's wrong? As opposed to if a batter's going through a slump, it might not be till 7-10 games where you actually notice that they're struggling. So I think last year around this time he struggled too. And
August has been
right, traditionally.
Yep.
So September, is just going to turn it on?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know why. Maybe it's the heat. I mean, it could be. Who knows? But
it's the long part of the dog days. That's why they call it the dog days.
Look, I don't disagree with you, but when you see it time and time again, his August is always his worst month in terms of ERA and all that other stuff. There has to be something there.
More cause for concern on your side, Mike?
Yes, definitely. I don't know why. I was at the game the other night. He almost threw away a really gutty performance from Tanner Roark. And he got them in trouble against the Pirates late. Had no business throwing some of the pitches he did. And Look, everybody in this town, and I think Soriano's done a great job, and he's been one of the best closers in baseball this year. Everybody in town has sort of celebrated the untuck, and it's sort of this nice, and it's also, in other towns, it's called showing up the guy. And if you're watching that every time on SportsCenter, and you're the guy up in the ninth, I don't want to see this.
Oh, I don't want to see that either.
None of us wanted to see that.
You're probably right.
That's a first.
But what I guess what I'm getting at is I really do think that it serves as motivation for a guy at the plate in the last inning. Like, I do not want to be the guy that he untucks to, and that's his signature. He's going to keep doing it. I'm just saying, if we really want to look at this objectively, other people in other towns, if someone else did that to Jason Worth as he struck him out, we go, what a jerk.
Well, that's the same thing with the flip-off, right? I mean, if you're playing well or you're playing at the high level that Soriano had been.
Dropping the middle finger is a fine. Untuck is a sign of.
But Soriano's been doing the untuck even back in his days in New York.
I'm just saying,
not anything new.
And there's a reason why he's still not with them. Eventually, he ended up on another team. He's not the top closer in baseball.
No, he's not. I don't even know if he's one of the top in the National League, to be honest. I mean, he's in the top 5 in blown saves this year. I don't know what. It's certainly something worth watching. The rest of the team is hitting on all cylinders for sure.
Should I tuck myself back?
6-game lead is comfortable. No need to panic, but. We'll watch that closely as we go on.